Okay, it's about time to start. Would you stand with me, please? I'll call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask David Monk if he will lead us in prayer tonight.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us the privilege and this great free nation of ours to assemble and conduct business that we certainly hope is done in accordance with your will and to improve the abilities of the youth and other adults that continue their educations and advanced training. We would just ask for your guidance in every decision we make. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen. Do I have any public comments from anyone? All right. We won't move in, and you want to.
President's report.
Yeah, special report with Representative Keith Bell.
We have State Representative Keith Bell with us tonight, and I think he wants to make a special presentation. So if you'll come forward, you can make that. I'll meet you out here.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to tell you, number one, how much I appreciate the opportunity to be your state representative. I've got Kaufman and most of Henderson County, even after redistricting, the only 38% of the land mass and 61% of the population. So, and the way we drew the district goes around 7. So therefore, all your commissioner court, your commissioners districts all go to the courthouse. So I represent every one of them. Oh, you the judge, he lives north of 175 and west of 19. So that's my area. Down 31. We put the lake back together so that's a community of interest. All those towns in my district. So, like I said, it is an honor to represent Trinity Valley Community College. You've got a huge footprint in this district from Athens to Terrell. And so, but what I did was want to recognize, and you guys got a pretty good cheerleading team. That's a rumor, right?
No, it's fact.
I know, I got you. Well, I'll tell you what a fact it is. It's a fact that the governor, Greg Abbott, recognized it. So previously I was in session and Cody Craig, my district director, came down and presented this certificate from me and the House of Representatives. But we were communicating about this to the governor's office, and what I actually got is a proclamation from the state of Texas governor. And to all whom these presents shall come, greetings, know ye that this official recognition is presented to Trinity Valley Community College, the Cardinal cheerleading team, and Cardets dance team, NCA and NDA Collegiate Cheer and Dance Championship, Dance Team Union National Championships. And so goes on to say through that, but congratulations on bringing 3 championship titles home to the Valley. Your hard work and commitment this season earned the Cardinal cheerleaders a 12th national cheerleading title, and the Cardettes are 3rd and 4th national titles over the last 5 years. Your sportsmanship, teamwork, and pursuit of excellence, both on and off the mat, represent the best of the Lone Star State. And winning these prestigious championships is a great accomplishment and honor for your team, your college, your community, and the state of Texas. From the athletes to the coaches, families, faculty, and fans, these historic wins were a true team effort. I join you in celebrating these victories and applaud your dedication and ability to overcome adversity during a season full of twists and turns. As you reflect on both the challenges and achievements of this past season, I hope you will celebrate and enjoy your many accomplishments. I encourage you to use them as life lessons of which to build your future successes. First Lady Cecilia Abbott joins me in extending congratulations to best wishes for the future. Testimony whereof I've signed my name and caused the seal of the state of Texas to be affixed at the city of Austin this 5th day of May, 2021. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. So it's my honor to gotten this secured and to present it to you and your board tonight. Dr.
Appreciate it
King,
very much.
appreciate your friendship.
By the way, we're going back a couple of weeks to the
13, that's
National
right.
Championship.
You good?
So we got another chance.
Yes. Great.
Thank you, again. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, board. Thank y'all for your service, what you do for the kiddos here in the House District. Many of you personally and appreciate your support. If I can ever help you, Dr. King, we've been friends a long
We have.
time and love this place, do an amazing job. And I'll do anything I can to help you be a success.
Appreciate that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. We have another presentation that I'd like to make at this time. Some of you may have had the opportunity to read my update that I sent out this morning. We had our Student Government Association was in Austin, it was in Dallas last week at the statewide community college meeting. And there were 80 other community colleges there. And they did an unbelievable, fantastic job representing TBCC and representing what we are here at our college. I'm gonna say the awards that you got, and then I'm gonna let you introduce everyone. Courtney, we got 3rd place in Community Service Award. Again, this is 80 colleges that we're competing against in the state of Texas. We got 3rd place in Poem Award. We got 2nd place in Essay Award. We got 2nd place Student of the Year Award. We got 2nd place Chapter of the Year Award out of 80. We got 1st place Video Award, and we got Courtney Skiles got Advisor of the Year Award out of all 80 community colleges. So Courtney, if you don't mind, if you'll stand up and introduce your.
Courtney Skiles. I am the interim recruiting and high school outreach director here, as well as the Student Government Association advisor. I am a graduate of TBCC back in 2018, where I was involved in student government. So it's an absolute honor and privilege to be able to lead the future generations of my Student Government Association. This is Joel Vasquez. He is our local chapter president, as well as our regional SGA president. And he just completed his term as serving as the entire state of Texas's Student Government Association president. He did a phenomenal job this weekend, leading the entire delegation and all of those students. And then also with us, we have Robert Richardson, who was just sworn in as our statewide parliamentarian, and he serves on our local board as our parliamentarian well. They have absolutely blown me away this past week. They're a phenomenal group of students, and I could not be more proud of the way that they have represented the college this past week.
And we're very proud of you as well. Let's give them a round of applause. Keith,
Why don't you get with these 3 here to make a picture?
that'd be good. That'd be good. Thank you guys for coming today and tonight, and we appreciate the way you represented a TBCC on a statewide basis. And it's just really good to have you do that. Y'all want to?
Yeah, Keith.
Yeah.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
I live where you the same way. 1, 2, 3.
Halfway to mine, folks. There we go. Thank y'all.
Congratulations again. We appreciate the way you've represented the college. Thank you. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, Dr.
You're welcome. Okay, I think there were just a few other things I wanted to mention, and then we'll move on to the items on the agenda. I want to give you a Northwest Dorm renovation update. I think we're on schedule. We went and visited Mike, Kimberly, and Steve and I, and went and visited the dorm last Friday. And it's kind of hard to tell right now where we are exactly, but I think we're on schedule. We're moving forward, and I think it's looking good for now at least. The DOE audit report, we have no update. We have no information that we've received from the DOE, so we're still waiting. What has it been now? 7 months that we've been waiting on that, so we'll continue waiting until we hear back from them. We're celebrating our 75th anniversary celebration on April the 23rd. And we're looking forward to that. I'll send you a special invitation and a special invite to that with an agenda, but it will be starting that morning, I believe at 9 o'clock, and it will go throughout the afternoon. So we're really looking forward to that as well, 75 years. I wanted to also recognize our former basketball coach, Leon Spencer. He was honored at the NJCAA Basketball Hall of Fame in Hutchinson, Kansas, a couple of weeks ago. I was very proud of our TVCC Lady Cardinals. They were in the final 8 at the national tournament. Yeah, national tournament. They did a great job this year and represented TVCC in a very positive way. Wanted to say, and I don't have it on my list here, but I was talking to Dr. Reed last week in Terrell, and we have 21 BSN graduates. That may not mean a whole lot to you guys, but it means a whole lot to me. 21 graduates that will be graduating in May with a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. And we've been working on that and talking about that for a long time, and it's actually going to happen. So Dr. Reed and Jason Smith and the others that have been involved in that over the years were finally there. So we appreciate that very much. I also kind of regret to say that Dr. Reed is retiring. She submitted her letter of retirement. She's been at the college for 39 years. I think she's been the dean for 33, 32, something like that, 34 maybe. She's retiring in August. And Dr. Algie Allen is also retiring in August, who's the provost over our Terrell campus. He's been with us for the last 12 years. He took Charles Gann's place 12 years ago. And prior to that, he was with the college, I believe, 12 years before that.
I'm sorry.
8 years
8
before
years
that.
before.
So those are, and there's some other people retired, but I just wanted to mention those because you guys have worked with them a lot in the past, and they'll be difficult to replace. They'll be irreplaceable, really. But we'll do the best that we can to find someone to come in and do what needs to be done. I think, Ray, that's everything I have on my list. Unless anybody has any questions. Okay, I think we're good to go on.
Okay, you announced next board meeting,
The next board meeting is April the 25th.
25th,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, if no one has any questions for the president on his report, we'll move forward to item number 4. Consider the minutes of February the 28th, 22 meeting minutes. They've been presented to you. Do I hear any corrections or comments about them? If not, I hear a motion to approve. Steve makes motion to approve. Terry seconds that motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 5, consider the business financial investment report for January 2022. David, you're on
Yes, sir.
You're
the
right.
stage.
Norman, bring it up. Okay, thanks. Just real quickly, I want to point out a few things as we move through the year. January is a big month for a couple of reasons. We start getting most of our tuition in for fall and spring. We're still about 1.52% below last year. And I point that out simply because we'll be drawing down HERF money for the fall and spring, which will be slightly higher, it appears, at least for tuition than last year. The good point is you see on here, housing, food service, bookstore are all doing better than last year. So that will offset some of the HERF money. It won't be a lot of money as an offset, but I'd like to see that those are doing better. The other thing I wanted to point out is January, obviously, as most of y'all know, the paid taxes. That's a big month for property taxes. You see we're at 16.9 versus 14.4 last year. Huge difference. Everything is due January 31st, so most of it comes in at that point. The only downside everybody knows about this, state appropriations, we're budgeted and obviously know that they're going to be short 1.6 million. Again, we intend to draw that money down through the HERF programs. I don't really have anything on payroll to point out. And most of our O&M on the next page.
again, our travel hasn't quite picked up yet. I know myself, our first TACBO conference in 2 years is in the summer. We have a lot of conferences in the summer, continuing education, that kind of thing. The one thing I did want to point out, you'll notice year-to-date revenue over expense, 15,950,000. This time last year was 14.3. The big difference there, obviously, we had a bond payment last year. This year, we didn't have one. And the other thing I wanted to point out, I'm getting a couple of months ahead of myself, but we're also making the last lease payment on the fitness center. That was this March. So essentially, we're truly debt-free. I mean, we don't even have a capital lease anymore after March. So it was only $25,000, but not that many colleges can say that based on what I read in the state reports that come out. So, anybody have any questions about that? The next page is just your cash. I mainly want to focus on capital reserve on the following pages, but 35 million in total, 25.9 of that, 23.8 of that is capital reserve. The next page on your monthly investment report, because of the transfer that I want to talk about in a minute, we've got to move some money into some of those other high-paying CDs that Dr. Rice here talked about at dinner. On the next page on capital reserve, this is something that we didn't have any expense transfers come through this month on any of the projects, but I want to point out the $6,688,000 is the amount of money we transferred at the end of January after the audits from the prior year. That's the balance of the $8 million. The other part is transferred during the year. And as I told you before, I like to wait until after the audit to do that, just to make sure there's no audit adjustments or anything of that nature. And that brings us up to 23.8 million in cap reserve. See if I have any questions about that, anything. Same as we do every year, about that time. So. The following page is your over 25,000. Before we talk about her for a minute. Some software, a lot of your regular monthly expenses, some renovations on the Cosmo and welding buildings. And I believe probably one of the last payments on our audit for that year. So let's talk about her for a minute. A couple of things I wanted to go over. This summary, normally if you'll scroll down just to keep going. Okay. This is as of March 10th. I want to give you all the latest information. We've got $4.6 million in the institutional. I know y'all keep hearing me talk about that. We're trying to stretch this out over 2 years. One of the things that we found out, and I guess they, in their infinite wisdom, have decided after all that, all the extensions on the institution are going to be automatic. They have said, we were all getting our letters ready, all the CFOs and my counterparts, ready to submit our letters. Well, they said, never mind. We're just going to give it to you and extend it through June 30th of 2023, which is fine because I've talked to some of y'all about that. I was wondering about, well, is contact hours good enough? That money is not encumbered, but the state and everybody else was counting on us getting the HERF money. They pretty much said, we're just going to extend it. So we don't really have to worry about that anymore for now. On the student side, you see that we have issued all of that money. The staff right now is in the process, we issued these in January. Unfortunately, when you issue $5 million worth of checks, some of those are going to come back. So what our Phillips staff and my staff are going to be doing is going through all those, try to contact the students if they come back, try to get the money to them. But if we can't find them before May the 15th, I believe, we will reverse that money and award it to someone else if we can't track it down. Because otherwise, there is no extension for the student side. It's over with. So we've got to get that done by May 15th. So that's the plan. But right as of now, short of these checks coming back, and trust me, out of, what was it, Stephanie, how many did we do?
8,900 of them.
Yeah, only 8,900 checks. So some of those are gonna come back. So, the next page is just how we spent the money. Mostly, we're having a few COVID expenses. Those have actually dropped off. What we were buying mainly were tests. What we're now obviously focused on is bringing home the lost revenue from what's left out of the 4.8 million, I believe. The next page, we can scroll down probably, yeah, keep going. And I know y'all probably get tired of me pointing this out, but of the 4.6 million we've got left, I'm not concerned if the numbers I'm seeing right now covering this year. I think if we scroll down just a little, maybe the next page, I'm not sure. Yeah. We're gonna, in 22, 23, we may run a little short of covering that $1.6 million. Again, I'm not as concerned about that at this moment. If property taxes keep increasing $2 million a year, and again, revenue may be better when you go throughout the summer, that deficit may be slightly smaller. But overall, I think we're, especially with taxes the way they are, I think we're in really good shape. And I'll try to answer any questions that I can.
Any questions? If there's no questions, I hear a motion that will approve the business financial and investment report. Jerry Stone makes that motion. Steve seconds the motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 6, consider and discuss order of cancellation for District 6 and District 9 as no other candidates applied for election. We have the papers already fixed up for the county and all that, so we're ready to go. Do I hear a motion that we approve this cancellation of these two districts? David makes a motion, Ron seconds the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. You two gentlemen saved us a bunch of money.
Well, congratulations, you got 6 more years.
But did you have any estimate what
Oh,
those?
it was costing us, I don't know, $8,000-9,000 or more. Yeah, because we'd have had to do Kaufman County, and it would cost us $10,000-12,000.
Item number 7, consider and discuss interlocking agreement with Henderson County for election on May the 7th for Board of Trustee position for District 7.
Janine, I think, has done a good job, her and David, of working with the county. Janine did most of it, I think, right, Janine? And we're going to work with them for them to do the election for that District 7. And we don't know exactly what it's going to cost, somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000, depending upon how many other entities also hold an election at that time. Split out among all of us. So basically, we would ask for approval to work with the Henderson County Elections Administrator, Apollo Lutke, and her staff for them to do the election for us, which is May the 7th? Yeah, May 7th.
Okay, do I hear a motion to have the county conduct the election for District 7? Rondé makes a motion, David seconds the motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Jerry, do you want to make a campaign speech?
I don't think you can.
Okay, item number 8, consider and discuss room rate for 22 and 23.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've had this, so you've all read this already, so I won't go into a huge amount of detail. but our infrequent review of the rates in our housing has been ongoing for several years. And we are well below the market average in the local area here in Athens, and we're well below our competitors in what we're charging to students. And so we are requesting sort of a tiered approach to our housing prices this year. We're looking at Cardinal Hall as really sort of being our stellar residence hall. We're looking at the Northeast Hall, which was renovated just a couple of years ago, as well as Northwest Hall, which is being renovated now. It's sort of being the second tier, and then South and West will be that lower tier. So we're going to be working toward a pretty well-defined tier cost among those 5 residence halls. You can see here what we're expecting to increase per semester for a student living in the residence hall. And you can also see that we've provided some comparisons for you to see as to how our room rate 17-18 compares to 21-22. And to end this, I guess I would say that we are requesting that you approve the recommended increases for our housing rates for all of our residents.
Let me just also say that how much we appreciate Steve Grant. Steve Grant's been working with us for the last couple of weeks on this and helping us through this. He's our resident expert that we have in housing. And so we appreciate Steve, and also Jennifer Ball. Jennifer's not here tonight, but Jennifer basically put together this financial performa, which I think was very well done. And I think Steve thought it was well done. So Steve, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I think it was it's reasonable, and I feel like we may have some upside come about if we have a higher goal. I think if anything, what we look at is, I know this isn't a big profit center, and I'm talking to Cornell about this a while ago, but a few short years ago, we couldn't tell you if we were making money, work was being spent, or might know work was being spent, but how we were really doing just by standalone for this. And I think now we have a handle on what we have. Our expense ratio feels a little high, but enrollment and increased grants will help that a little bit.
Thank you.
And you can all look forward to us doing this yearly, just as we do the Aramark contract yearly. So we will begin looking at this once a year to see where we stand with all of our competitors and within the local market area.
Good, very good. Everybody did a really good job of putting this together. We were going to do it in March, but we weren't quite ready. And so, I'm sorry, this is March. We were going to do it in February, and we weren't quite ready. So we took a little bit of extra time here and put a good one together, I think.
Anyone have any questions about that? If not, I hear a motion to approve it. Mike makes a motion to approve it. Jerry seconds that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 9, consider and discuss board rates for 22 and 23.
Okay.
Oh,
Mr.
board
President,
rates.
Right.
This is a much simpler request. It's pretty cut and dried. Aramark requested an increase between 9 and 10%, and we haggled a little bit, and we stopped at 8.5% for their request. However, if you remember last year, we were in the middle of COVID, and I had requested that we not pass along the increase we granted to Aramark, we can pass that along to students. So we'll begin passing that back to students now with 0.5%. And so while we will be, Aramark will be increased by 8.5%, we'll be charging students a full 9%. So we'll begin to get back up to that 25% profit margin that we had before. So our recommendation is that you would approve the rate increases as presented.
Make a motion to approve that.
Okay,
I made a motion.
okay, Dr. Charlie makes a motion. David Monk seconds the motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 10, consider and discuss TVCC Board of Trustee Manual.
We've discussed this at previous meetings, as you recall. At the last meeting, you asked me to go back and make some changes, which I've made. If you look in the red on the memo, basically we are asking the TBCC new board orientation may include the following. It does not necessarily have to, so we made provided some flexibility in there. We made a few changes to that. The second aspect, that's a new board orientation. The second change that we made was, the Board of Trustees will have at least one workshop annually with an agenda jointly determined by the board and the college president to discuss institutional goals. And then the third change was board members will serve on at least one committee consisting of a budget committee, facilities committee, and strategic planning committee, and/or special committees as needed. And those were the only three changes that we had to what's current policy. We asked for any discussion or
Anyone have any comments about it? If not, do I hear a motion that we approve it? Mike makes a motion to approve it. Dr. Charlie and David both seconds it. So all in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
thank you.
Number 11, consider and discuss personnel updates.
Board, these are just the resignations that we've had. Some of these you may know. Blake Williamson, some of you know Blake. He's moving on to a different higher paying job in industry. And then the rest of those, and Mike Ellsbury is retiring from SBDC. And the rest of those are just replacements. And so unless you have any questions, we would ask for approval of the update for the,
Matt, what did Brad do?
who, which one?
Blake. What did-
Oh, Blake, he was Director of Recruitment and High School Outreach.
Okay.
He'd been with us for 8 years.
Oh, okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve it? Jerry makes a motion, Steve seconds the motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 12, we need to convene to executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551071 and 551074, the Texas Open Meeting Act, for the following purposes. All right, I hear motion, we're going to open closed session. Okay, Terry makes that motion, Jerry seconds the motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Okay. Folks, we'll be right back. You've heard that before, haven't you?
Norma, you want to turn off the recording?